Good.
21st of April, Rabbi Levitt. Um, blah, 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 blah. It's called Horeb.
Horeb, okay.
My mind went blank there.
Okay.
So we got Alan here, but he's not talking.
Alan is here. Alan, he just came, just showed up.
Okay, good, great. How are your Pesach preparations coming?
Baruch Hashem. Baruch Hashem.
My wife's done a wonderful job. The house looks magnificent, unbelievable.
Wow.
Works so hard.
Wow, wow. Wonderful. Wow. That is great. Okay. So,
I think we're up to paragraph 11.
yeah.
Nor is this idolatry merely an error, a mistaking of falsehood for truth. In that case, it would be simply an intellectual mistake, a delusion, deplorable indeed, but even at the worst, not the worst that might happen, for there would still be left human dignity and purity and uprightness of human action. But this is not the case. As soon as you set anything else besides God as God, and still more as your God, forthwith human dignity, purity, uprightness, and uprightness fall to the ground. The fabric of your life goes to pieces. See, that's what I don't get. This idea of the fabric of your life goes to pieces. What does that mean? I mean, that doesn't mean that you stop functioning. It doesn't mean that you go crazy. I mean, people who fall into this trap can live seemingly very normal lives.
Um, yeah, I'm not, again, right. He's not, prophesying that they're going to, be, they're gonna go crazy. He's not saying that. Um, I mean, the Gemara already says that, the Gemara in Kedushin says that,
Right now?
that Rishoyim, Hashem, pays them off in this world for the mitzvahs that they do, for the Ma'asim Tovim, the good things that they do. And so
we have the conundrum of, good things happening to bad people, and
yeah,
that whole issue.
so I don't think he's talking about the. And when we talk about those types of things, you're only really talking about very material matters. You know how much money they have. You know how many cars they have. That's not what he's talking about. He's not saying that somebody who's worships money is not going to make a lot of money, and he's going to go broke and go crazy. He's not saying that. I understand that what he's saying is in a spiritual sense. In a spiritual sense, a person who lives his life totally devoid of Hashem, and even not only that, devoid of Hashem, but he trusts in other things, and he makes other things into God, and he worships those things, and he believes that those things are the things which control the world. So this takes a person very, very far away from anything spiritual. And so, in that sense, that his life is totally far away from Hashem. That's what I believe that he means when he says the fabric of his life goes to pieces.
Alan, what are you talking about now?
We're in Horeb,
Okay.
Alan.
All right, you haven't found the book yet, huh?
No, remember I told you I had to reorder it?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, so it should be coming in a couple of weeks. Sorry about that.
Not your fault. It's all in the hands of Hashem, right?
Absolutely. I'm just need to go to the front door for a second.
Okay, how you doing, Alan? How was Shabbos?
Baruch Hashem, yeah, have a good Shabbos. Right now we're working on finishing up all the cleaning, getting the final things, and we have two nephews over here helping put stuff away, the big stuff that I can't
Yeah,
handle.
it's amazing.
Hashem helps us all the time.
Baruch Hashem. Okay, so yeah.
So Alan, we were talking about a statement by Rabbi Hirsch that the person forsakes Hashem and replaces Hashem with something else, then human dignity, purity, and uprightness fall to the ground. The fabric of your life goes to pieces. So I was asking for some clarity on that, and Rabbi was filling me in. All right, shall I go weiter?
Yeah.
Okay, if a man follows after any being as God, except God, he necessarily sinks to a lower level. As soon as a man thinks of any being as independent and as belonging only to itself, it must appear to him as tyrannical, intent only on self-aggrandizement and producing only for self-gratification. Hence, the man who reveres such beings as gods must of necessity regard unbridled violence and self-indulgence not as something bestial and so beneath man as but as something divine and so above man, and pursue them as such. Nay, more, when the law of unity has vanished from his conception of the world and the universe breaks apart for him into isolated deities which serve only themselves, he will soon count himself among the gods, and recognizing no law in its own life either, in his own life either, he will break out into all kinds of excesses and abandon himself to arrogance and dissoluteness. And if it is only in your material life that you place another God or a human being or yourself by the side of or over against God, your course of life inevitably becomes confused. And when you attach yourself to the God of your delusion, you are driven to forsake the God of truth. Inevitably, you will forfeit the vocation of a man and an Israelite, of being a true servant of God, in order to snatch some advantage or to secure your property or to gain the favor of the owner of a property or to indulge your own fantasy I'm sorry, your own fancy, you will of necessity leave God's will out of sight and become either the slave or the idol of your fellow creatures. Although you ought to be only their brother, a child like them, of the only and only of the one and only God, man and Israelite. Therefore, know this day and lay it to thy heart that the Lord, he is God in heaven above, and upon the earth beneath there is none else. Okay, that's the end of that chapter. Chapter 4, Around the World. Shelo litur achrei levav ayin. Do not follow after your heart and your eyes.
Yeah, but remember, it was very hard to get a taxi.
And that ye go up not about after your own heart and after your own eyes, after which ye use to go astray. Explaining this, our sages say, look not upon the world without consulting the Torah.
Of course.
For only with the eye of your rational understanding or your physical eye, lest the first lead you to wrong notions of God, and the second to bestial indulgence, and both together to idolatry. Your rational understanding, which is intended only for the comprehension of the creature world, knows only what can be seen or touched. That is all that exists for it. When guided by it alone, you look out upon the world, and the interplay of things gives you the idea that phenomena, when linked together, constitute a world. You try ceaselessly to turn the chain into a closed and self-contained circle. And even if you suspect the existence of other forces, and you do not succeed in closing the circle, if your chain of reasoning leads irrefutably to one force which you regard as the first and which you posit as the original motive force of phenomena, and you call this original force God, then you must regard this original force as being only the primary force, the first link in the chain. But this is not the personal holy God of the Torah, who existed before all existing things, was above all beings, and yet who, by his will and with his power, and for the purpose set by his wisdom, called all that is into being. The living God who dominates the whole passage of time, and who is also your God, who sanctifies you. Him you will not have, him, the all-powerful, all-sustaining, all-righteous, all-loving, high above all, yet near to all. What you attain is the denial or misinterpretation of God, i.e. its minuth. Not sure I followed that last sentence. It's a long sentence.
I think this whole Yeah, it was the whole that whole 14 was just
One
just 3
sentence.
sentences. That's the way they wrote. That's the way they wrote. Okay, so he's bringing a Gemara in. I have a note here on the bottom. We follow here the more difficult reading found in Brachos 12b and in Sifri. Um, yeah, speaking about this pasuk, Lo sasur acharei levav acharei nechem. Don't go after your heart, don't go after your eyes. Asher tem zodim achareihem. That you go astray. Don't look upon those. He doesn't say where exactly this is that we could look this up, but it seems like it's a Gemara somewhere. He says this is what the sages say in explaining this pasuk. Um, don't look at the world without looking at it through the eyes of Torah. Don't look at it simply with your rational understanding or your physical eye, because if you do that, you're going to it's going to lead you to wrong notions of Hashem, to minus, and second to snus, and even to avodah zarah. So that seems to be basically what he's saying over here in a nutshell, that you have to look at the world through the eyeglass, the microscope, the eyes of the Torah, meaning the eyes of those that know what the Torah says and how the Torah looks at the world. Because if you're going to look at the world without that, you're going to go wrong. You're not gonna understand, and you're gonna get false notions about the world, false notions about everything. That's basically what he said over here. He says an interesting thing here, though. It seems like he says, even if you suspect the existence of other forces and you do not succeed in closing the circle, I'm not sure exactly what that means. But he says, if your chain of reasoning leads irrefutably to one force which you regard as the first and which you posit as the original motive force of phenomena, and you call this original force God. He says, but still, this is not the personal holy God of the Torah. It's not even if science is going to say yes, it's clear that there was only one being that created everything, or whatever it is the source of everything. You're still very, very far away from our understanding of who Hashem is. Hashem is so much more than just, oh, he was the first cause and he was the only cause. There's so much more to Hashem than that. And that's what Pesach is all about. You see, Hashem is not just the one who created everything, but he's the one who has a whole plan for the entire creation and all the creations that are in it. Live according to a certain life, certain values. So it's in other words, the Torah's our understanding of who Hashem is the rational intellect will never in a million years be able to come up with that. And so that's why he's saying that there's no way that you can't simply go after your heart, meaning your intellect, and after your eyes, what you physical phenomena that you see, and trying to come to the truth of what truth is. You'll be so far away from what the truth really is that you'll be it will lead to znus, avodah zarah, and minus. Without Torah, without the guidance of the Torah perspective. That's what he's talking about here. The limits of rational the rational mind. The limits of the human mind, basically, as rational as it is, and as logical as it is. It's that mind, he says, is intended to be used only to understand the creature world. It knows what could be seen or touched. The way I would say it, he knows how to build a bridge. He knows how to make a car. Knows how to make an atom bomb. the real questions of what is life for, what is life about, what is right, what is wrong. The human mind can't come to the correct conclusion about any of those things. That's only through the eyes of the Torah. I think that's what he means to say. And just using the rational mind, he says that it doesn't control a person's bad habits and bad midos. He'll be subject to running after his desires and doing whatever in order to attain them. It's not that's the so if a person uses his rational mind to figure out what he should do in life, he's going to be in big trouble. That's what he's saying. Don't go after your heart, meaning your mind, your rational mind, after your eyes. Just to look at things from a physical point of view, what you can verify, what you can document, what can be seen, what can be touched. This is those things are all good in order to build a bridge and build a road and make a car and build a house, and that's what you need. That's the logic, the rational understanding of the human mind is totally capable of doing all those things. But it needs Torah in order to be guided to really see what's the truth about this world. Okay, so we're out of time.
Thank you, Rabbi.
Okay.
We're going to do Gemara now, or are we finished for today?
Yeah, I think as long as I don't get called away, I think I'm expected to go until 12:30.
Okay, great. So I'll see you in about 10 minutes.
Yeah.